Hey, welcome to Bears Banner, the 2 minute drill segment with Cristen Jones, the QB coach. Hey, what's going on, Christian?
What's going on, man? Nothing much. Just enjoying this Thursday night.
Okay,
Just enjoying this Thursday night.
yeah, man, bro, that's is that a hoodie?
Yeah, I got
Man,
my
that's
bear
nice.
stuff on. Yeah, I
Oh
got my
man,
bear
that's that.
stuff on.
Yeah, that's a nice hoodie, brother. Hey, man, we
Appreciate it.
we
Appreciate it.
yeah. Hey, we was gonna do a quick 2 minute drill tonight. You being a QB coach to kind of go over a few things that you saw from Sunday, and a few things through the year that you've seen from Justin Fields, particular. I thought personally this was Justin Fields' best game of the season, and I didn't have to look at the stats to feel that. What I felt was I thought I saw improvement in footwork, progression, anticipatory throws, and I thought he read the defense well, and I thought that he actually slid when he needed to slide, and it was just one of the best games. Now, statistically, it might have been the second or third best game, but I think overall it was one of his best games. I say it is his best game. And also, I have this little personal benchmark that I have been holding that I always want him to at least get to. I always want him to get to 20 completions.
Yeah.
And if he's below 20 completions, unless he only throw about 18 times or 20 times, I kind of say you got to get up to 20 completions. I'm like, if you're throwing 30 to 37 times, you can't have 18 completions.
Yeah.
I don't care how many long throws and all that, because at that point, man, I mean you're completing 58 to 59% of your passes. Because if you start having like 37 throws and 16 completions, you're not really completing. Anyway, let me be quiet. You the QB coach tonight, running the show.
No,
So
you hitting it. You hitting it on the head. Completion rate is definitely important. Um, as a quarterback, you don't. I don't. Or when I played, you're not really counting in your head, but you are paying attention to how many you hitting, the throws that you feel good, the throws that you seeing. So it is important. And then as a play caller, um, you're very aware of it. So you know if your guys in rhythm or not, if you put them in good situations. So no, what you were saying is you hit the nail on the head with that one. So I 100% agree with you on that one. His when you see him in that 20 mark or higher than that, I want to see him a little higher than that. I want to see him go up another level.
mm-hmm.
I want to see him get to like 25, 30 um, completion rate, and that's when you know like, hey, he's really really like growing, and the game is really really like slowing down for him. And it's not like he's playing. It's not like he's feeling pressure or he's panicking. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
playing the game within the game. So you hit the head on the nail. I mean, you hit the head on the nail with that one.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes when I watch a football game with a player, I'll go and look at the next gen stats diagram. They kind of like, did I see what I thought I saw, right? How that next gen chart, it'll show you. Look like we lost your picture for a minute, Christian. You okay?
Sorry
Okay, there
about
you go. Okay. Yeah, that next gen's graphic shows like where all the passes were thrown at, and so I like to look at that. And so sometimes when I look at that, I'm looking at, okay, if you completed say 17, but if I look at the chart and I see 9 out of the 17 were either zero routes or screens,
that.
then I'm starting to look like, man, so that means you only completed 6 or 7 passes
Right.
that were any distance, even though the yards, right? And that's how something
Hmm.
that you measure the yards, where somebody may say, well, he hasn't got these many 300 yards, but that's because you have to lengthen the passing game a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
And what was very impressive, it's impressive for me to see any quarterback be able to throw a nice deep ball, and they have a high percentage at completing them. To see him on the first play be able to complete a nice deep bomb, that was real good to see because it was bringing me back to how he looked when he was in college. So uh, he was on the money this past game.
Okay. Hey, what's up, Jimmy Red? He said he only could use the plays he's given. Yeah, that's true, and that's part of play calling. That's part of rhythm. So
Yeah,
I'm not criticizing as far as throwing a short pass because you know with Christian, you get a quarterback in a rhythm, but
yeah,
uh, I'm just checking that because I'm just saying if you see that those misses, right? If you start
yeah,
seeing misses, right, and sometimes with quarterbacks, you have to study where those misses come, right? And so if they miss, say if they hot, and then they get to the third quarter and they miss two or three, then somehow you got to get them back on rhythm, right? Because then they may miss three or four in a row. So maybe
right.
you go to it's just like in basketball, right? You'll go to a layup, right? Go to your teleplay, go get a layup. You want to see it go in, get some. So you'll shorten the distance from him on his throw, so they could get back comfortable with. Okay, they see somebody catching it, right? Because I'm sure you start getting discouraging.
Yeah, or maybe him. I mean, it might be weird for me and to other quarterbacks, but maybe his rhythm is the deeper throws. Maybe he might
Yeah.
feel comfortable making those throws. Some quarterbacks, aren't. But I agree with you. You do want to get your guys in the rhythm, and that's across the board. That goes for running backs. That goes for pass catchers. That
Mm-hmm.
goes for the linemen. um you gotta get that whole offensive unit in a rhythm because
Mm-hmm.
it all works in together. Everything works together, believe it or not. So I agree with you. Yeah, it just depends on the player, and it just depends on what you got to know your player. You got to know what he feels comfortable with doing, and you just got to get him in the rhythm that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so I'm gonna bring up this play, Christian, because I know you wanted to discuss this play here.
Hmm.
Let me put it on the screen.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I know the screen is not, because it was actually snowy out there today. So, yeah. Okay. Welcome to the 2 minute drill with Christian Jones, the QB coach. If you just tuned it in, so 2 minute drill is just a segment that Christian Jones does for Bears Banner. Sometimes he just submit videos and do film breakdown, and sometimes he come on live and talk about it. So, hey, we about to run this play where it is the touchdown throw to DJ Moore. I'm about to run it. Hold on. I think I got it clicked over here. There we go. Okay. Okay. I know that's kind of probably a little hard to see, but I
Yeah.
know we didn't seen enough. I mean, what was it? What did you like about that throw?
So that was his third read in that progression. And
Mm-hmm.
if I just want everybody to part of Bears banner, find it if you can, or if you've recorded the game, go back and watch the game in that moment, and you'll see he went right to left. He looked at that crossing route that was coming in front of him. I believe it was tight end that was running it. He went from that, and you can tell that he is now starting to understand what he's reading. He's not lost. Um, so they caught them in man. He went from one, two, three. That route to DJ was his third option. That wasn't his first option. And
Okay.
how I know that is oftentimes where the quarterback's eyes normally go is that's typically where he wants to read on certain concepts, unless it's a mirror concept where you got two routes two routes that are the same. It's like four wide. So post wheel concept, that's a mirror route. What you got on the right side, you'll see on the left side. So most of the time, if you see a mirror route and you see the quarterback looking one direction, it's because he's trying to move somebody so he can go back to the opposite side, or he might throw that way. It all depends. But in this one, it wasn't a mirror route. It was a high-low action to where they had that dig route coming across or that trail route coming across at that post corner. It was post corner with DJ Moore, and it was just a amazing. I mean, I like the concept. I liked how his eyes, his mechanics, his feet was just amazing because you can't make that throw unless your mechanics is just on point. The ball placement was amazing. He put that ball only to where DJ Moore can get it. The defender had good coverage. That too, y'all watch it. That defender had good coverage.
Yeah,
He put that ball only where DJ Moore can get it. So that show you he was on his thing on Sunday, this past Sunday. He was
yeah,
feeling himself.
yeah. That was a great throw in a very tight window. And hey, just briefly for if you could do an explanation that's maybe for the novice to understand. When you said he read that route from 1 to 2 to 3, and DJ was his, I think you said his third option on that route.
Yeah.
So I know we don't have a diagram in front of us, but who was the first read on that route? Do you remember?
I believe it was the tight end. It was either tight end or wide receiver, but I believe that was a tight end. He was running across her.
Okay,
Um, he was running across her or dig route, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. It was coming across his face. So what I mean coming across your face is at some point you're gonna see the wide out or the pass catcher in your line of sight. He's gonna
okay,
come to your line of sight. So as he was coming to his line of sight, he saw, hey, we're a man. So I'm gonna go to one. I'm gonna check my two just to see if it's open. Probably not, but I'm gonna go to DJ.
hmm,
And it worked out. I mean, you wanna in man coverage, you wanna go to your best wide receiver. But he still, instead of guessing, instead of off his pre-snap just premeditating throwing there, he went through his progressions even though he knew that he was a man.
okay. You know what, Christian? I'm gonna do this also. Before that was a great breakdown. I'm gonna bring up a series of clips, and we could kind of, if you want me to pause, let me
Okay.
know on any of these. But let me bring these on for our viewers. Kind of do a quick recap of some of the stuff we saw in the game. Okay,
Okay.
how's it looking on our screen? Let me make this full screen. There we go. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
off.
Drive after the Young Wei Koo missed field goal. Justin Fields to work. Has DJ Moore into the breadbasket. Inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah,
That
we
was
can
a
talk
nice
about this.
throw,
Yeah,
Christian.
we can talk about that one too.
Fields flings back corner. Moore. Touchdown.
Let's look down that throw, man. It was a beautiful throw, Christian. The only thing I didn't like on that throw was he was kind of backpedaling a little bit. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
It worked,
he
but
did. It worked. I still like prior to that, his feet was like he didn't have to throw that off balance. But I do like how he got quick into his drop though. It's very
yes,
quick. He went in a straight line. Yeah, he didn't have to do that unnecessary throw like that. But he who knows? They practice these throws, these
yeah,
weird off balance throws. So that's something he probably felt he needed to do in that moment. And then probably when he watched it, he probably like, yeah, I didn't have to do that.
yeah. And I like how decisive he was on that throw. Uh, I definitely would say earlier in the season I would have criticized this throw because he wouldn't have made it. Not that he
Yeah,
couldn't throw it, he would have looked it off. And
yeah,
these are things that I see growth in, where this is a throw in the first 5 games of the season. I just believe he wouldn't have threw it because some of these throws were there earlier, but now you can see the confidence and the growth, and he's making these throws. Let me rewind that throw again.
Fields flings back corner, more touchdown Bears right in front of Jesse Bates, and Chicago scores first.
Look at him in the slot. He's not outside going against any of the cornerbacks right there. And he gets a chance to get matched up on Jesse Bates, who's coming from that safety spot, and he just outruns him to the pylon. But a great job by him. We call it late hands. He doesn't show it early.
He knows why now. It's one of the biggest differences between him this year and years past.
This throw I really like too.
Like throwing the ball deep to DJ Moore out of bounds,
like that one, Chris?
just shy of the 30.
Yeah.
He's lined up in the slot, but this time Atlanta puts their best corner, A.J. Terrell, on him.
That's really throwing it in the bucket.
In the backfield to start that play, and that's where Moore gets outside.
That's really throwing it in the bucket.
This is one heck of a catch for a receiver.
And that's a good catch too. That's a good ball.
That's a great catch because that's a difficult catch. That's a difficult catch because he's actually looking over his shoulder, right? But he's looking up over his shoulder to locate the ball.
Yeah,
that's a difficult catch.
It is a difficult catch. At the same time, he put it where you can't intercept that. You can't, as a corner, you can't even combat that defender. You can't. If you do that, you're gonna get penalized for it. If you try to make a play on that ball, that's gonna be a pass interference call, real quick. So that's good kudos to Justin and DJ. For being able to just have the concentration and just the athleticism to get both his feet in bounds and make the grab. So man.
Yeah, see a comment from Jimmy Red said receivers need to fight for the ball better. Mooney has vanished this year, sadly. Yeah, I know Mooney didn't play in this game, but Jimmy Red comments are correct. I don't know what I was hoping that it was initially early in the season that maybe he was still kind of recovering from the injury this year, but it kind of, I hate to say it's almost kind of like he's checked out. It
was a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I feel like he checked out. I don't feel like they put him in good positions to be successful because it's his kind of Mooney is kind of what happened to him is really kind of disappointing because his rookie year he only dropped one ball.
Yeah,
and I think he had like over 50 receptions or something like that. Was he like in the 70s or something like that? And then last year, you saw a dip in his production. So honestly, I don't feel like they know what to do with him. Be honest with you, or he might not just fit with Lou Getsy. One is a wide receiver. Who knows? It can be a plethora of things that we don't know. So I wish I did, but he's definitely fell off.
Yeah, because the first couple of games, he's out there with Claypool, and even though Claypool didn't have production, they were trying to get the ball to Claypool. And I actually was talking to, I think I mentioned to you, Christian, that I said to you that I think Phil's also progression in reading improved. Ironically, with Claypool, and I had said I thought Claypool was a hindrance to him because he just it seemed like he was on the sideline bothering him. It wasn't like something obvious, but he just seemed like he was just that kind of guy, right? That always think they're better than what they are. And, and probably, for a young quarterback, you don't need a guy distracting you when you're trying to learn your thought. But hey, let's go back to here, and I'm gonna start this back up.
3rd and 7. Fields flings more right at the.
Let me go back. Oh, didn't have it on the screen. Where we at? I don't know how I lost it. Hold on. I lost the hold on, Christian. Lost the video. Hold on. Where we at? Ah, there we go. Okay. Trying to figure out what the screen was. There we go.
Great job by him. We call it late hands. He doesn't show it early.
He knows why now. It's one of the biggest differences between him this year and years past. Knows why he's supposed to be doing certain things, like throwing the ball deep to DJ Moore. Out of bounds, just shy of the 30.
He's lined up in the slot, but this time Atlanta puts their best corner, A.J. Terrell, on him. He looks like his eyes are in the backfield to start that play, and that's where Moore gets outside of him. But this is one heck of a catch for a receiver when you go over your left shoulder.
That's Scott in motion. 3rd and 7. Fields flings Moore right at the sticks, has the first down.
Hey, now, hey, Christian, do you mind breaking down this throw? I thought this throw also showed growth in Fields, even though that's to the naked eye, it looks like it was nothing. But to me, when I look at his footwork and him being in a position ready to throw, I thought this showed a lot of progress from earlier this season. So let me rewind it back to you.
3rd and 7. Fields flings Moore right at the sticks, has the first down.
So keep an eye out if they choose to.
What you thought about that throw there, Christian?
I thought it was good. It looked like that he caught them in zone. It looked like I gotta go back and watch the all 22, but from what it looked like from right there, it looked like he caught him in zone. And in zone there are gaps, windows that you can throw into. So there's a gap in between the hook curl defender. If they play Tampa 2, most teams do, that linebacker's going to be hitting a deep third, so there's going to be a window in front of him, and then there's a window on the other side in between the hook curl defender and the flat defender. So being able to just throw that in between a middle linebacker and the hook curl defender, that's a good throw. Because if you throw that into the flat, that's a problem. You can
Hey, what's
get
up,
an
Hap?
interception off of that. What's up, Hap?
All right, man. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Hey, we were just looking at a clip, man. I'm gonna put it back on the screen, okay? We were just going through a few clips, and jump in when you're ready.
We'll do.
For field goals.
Good note to keep track of in the second half. Right on the money on the post.
Anytime you want me to stop,
DJ Moore in the Falcon territory. Fields, clean pocket, has Moore crossing around in stride. Stiff arms Terrell. And then steps out of bounds. An incredible afternoon for DJ Moore.
When he's not drifting on some of these throws as much.
With the arm. Over the middle, Moore again. That is catch number 9. Down the sideline. And out near midfield.
Okay.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans.
Okay. Hey, let's have at it.
I would say that he was accurate. Not a lot of quarterbacks are accurate. And man, you would think they are, but I've seen a lot of quarterbacks not being able to complete. And man, you got some quarterbacks that prefer they got a higher completion percentage in zone than against man. And Justin, if you go look at his numbers, he has a higher passing completion percentage against man than he does zone. So he probably gonna have to clean that up next year. But I was surprised Atlanta played a lot of man against him. I don't know why, but when they did, he made them pay.
Okay. Hey, D, what's your evaluation of Justin Fields this season? With us, man, it's whatever you feel, man. We don't have no.
I'm sorry, my. Yeah. So Justin Fields, first and foremost, man. Again, glad to be with you. When the ball, when timing's good, when there's time in the pocket, when receivers are open, Justin Fields He looks like a quarterback. He looked, you know, amongst the stars in the NFL. My thing is Justin Fields is, you know, when things are not going perfect, when the protection's not there, when his number one receiver's not there, that's when things get a little rocky for me. His decision making, knowing what to do with the football, those are things I question. You know, everybody think I'm anti Fields. No, I just want Fields to look like an NFL quarterback. An NFL quarterback is someone who knows what to do with the football. You know, it's easy to point fingers at the offensive coordinator. I get all that. You know, that's true. But you know, you're a football player. You know what to do with the football. I'm not saying be perfect, but look like you know what to do with the football. The clips Cristen was showing here, I was just looking at them like, yeah, that's the Justin Fields we all love, and that's the Justin Fields that come up when a lot of people talk about Justin Fields. It's the big plays, those highlights. No, what are we getting every down? You know, the decision making. Those are things I question, and you know, the development I have not seen from year 1 to 2 to 3. It hasn't been there.
Okay, so I'm glad you said it because we got a diversity of opinions about Justin Fields. And you know what? Me not playing quarterback, I sometimes, Hamp get lumped into the same thing that you just said, that I actually look at some of the ability to play the position, right? And I have been critical this year, and I know, and I had been being accused of I don't ever have nothing good to say about Fields, right? but you can see I try to be fair when I think he plays well. I acknowledge that, and I did say on Sunday that for me he looked like he was quarterbacking the game, where I thought times he just looked like he was just back there just playing quarterback, right? That don't mean he was doing good, but you just kind of like this plan. So I that's why I brought up like the fundamentals, or sometimes drifting backwards in the pocket, and there's really no pressure, but you kind of like drifting, or you drifting into where your linemen are blocking the guy, right? Your tackle like right down there, right a few times. We're driving, riding the guy, and he drifted so far in the pocket that he actually caused the sack.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I want to share something else as Cristen gets settled. Here's some numbers of some stuff that I thought was interesting to kind of put together. Hopefully y'all can read all this. This is through 16 weeks. I have Justin Fields against man coverage at 54.1%, 3 interceptions in man coverage, 1,066 yards, with a QB rating of 81.4. Okay, when he played, when it's somebody in zone, I'm sorry, y'all won't be able to see it at home. When he's playing against zone coverage, he's 66%. Okay, five TDs, 6 interceptions, 1,348 yards. Hold on, look at one other screen to see what the QB rating is, because I can't see it on the screen. Okay, now this is the staggering part about this. The QB rating is 26.4 when he plays against zone. Now, what's the issue about that? I mean, you two guys are the experts. Why is there such a fall off when he plays zones? Because you can even see it in the number of interceptions. But what's going on when he get in zone?
Go ahead, bro.
First thing
what happened?
Uh-oh.
Oh man, they didn't got him.
Dang. Hopefully he come back on. Think he might be coming back on.
He should be coming back on. Did you want to go ahead and go while he's?
I don't think he trusts what he see.
Okay.
When you in zone, a lot of times those are those anticipation throws. Am I saying that right? How you
Yeah,
pronounce that word?
anticipation. Yeah, anticipation
Anticipation
throw.
throws. A lot of that are. Yeah, I don't think he trusts what he sees, and he struggles with that. So I think that's why he's been so bad. And then too, they didn't put him in like the best situations. Um, they were doing a lot of play action in the beginning, and the worst thing to do is to have a quarterback turn his back to the defense when he's struggling. He's not seeing what he in his eyes aren't right. So they did a lot of play action and having him turn his back to the defense. When he get his head around, he wasn't trusting what he was seeing. So that's what I think messed his development up too. I feel like the best way to help a quarterback, and they say all the time, and it's true, put a lot of motion in so he can be able to ID what's going on and then let him go from there. But to just put a young quarterback in play action and gun, a lot of people think that that's going to help him out. And sometimes it don't, because once you get your head around, you don't know what you're looking at. So it's easy for you to now start to panic and now not start to trust your eyes. And if you in the NFL, you got to throw them anticipation throws, like I was saying. So you might not want to let it rip because you're not sure if that's with what you're saying is correct. So that's what I got with that.
Okay. Hey, Hamp, as you break that down, I'm curious of how is the completion rate so high? It's much better than it is in zone, but the quarterback performance is really more turnovers, and you're getting a 24.6% QBR, but you completing it at 66%. Is it because they're in zone and they throwing short passes, or what's going on?
So the QBR is higher in man to man, correct? I just want to be clear. It's 84.1% man, and what was it in zone?
So in man is 81.4, in zone is 26.4.
Yeah. So I was speaking to myself before I got connected. If I'm a defensive guy, first and foremost, just coming in, basic principles coming in, playing a mobile guy, a guy who's athletic and talented as Justin Fields, I don't want my defense looking at receivers. I want my eyes on the quarterback. In zone defense, everyone on defense, their eyes is looking at the quarterback. That's just the first, and that's just the basic level of any zone defense. As a defender, I'm able to look at the quarterback. Another thing zone defense does, it allows you to disguise a lot more than just lining up, playing man-to-man. A young quarterback come out, see man-to-man, odds are he know, like, hey, I got this first option. The first option out there, I can determine where I can release and run the football. And that's what man-to-man does. It just put defenses in the strain that I have to get to the quarterback. And if I don't get there, there's a lot of lanes and, places to run. So those numbers are probably just showing like, hey, my guy isn't there. I can release, take off, which is more difficult to do in zone defense. Zone defense, you have to dissect it. You have to read it. I'm not confident. That's some things that I'm not saying that just Fields have the ability to read defense. I'm not saying that, but I do think he have difficulty processing just defense, knowing what to do with the football, and you get that in a lot of zone coverage. Zone coverage, you have to. I think Cristen mentioned anticipating those throws. If I don't anticipate those throws and throw them when they're in that coverage or in those gaps, I come out too late. I missed them. Yeah, it's
and you know what? And for those who just first time ever watching the show, I want to give you a background of both the guys that's on here tonight. Both of them actually are former Julian High School players. Both of them are actually former collegiate quarterbacks, and both of them actually currently coach high school football. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, so it's little things that they see that I shouldn't say little. That I mean, it's little. It's stuff that they notice that us as average fans who didn't play the position, we may not see. So I think we got two guys that have a slightly different view of the same person, and this is good, and it's not like based off what they think, or just like I hate this guy because I just hate him. When me and Christian was talking about that there's people who really just hate just
they just don't like him. Yeah,
just don't like
him. And I find myself people assuming that I'm just anti. I like Justin Fields, but I'm taking emotions out of it, and it's just like, man, I need to see some development. I'll be honest with you. I like Justin Fields. I prefer him to be here. I prefer him to develop because I don't want to start over.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing in no quarterback means we start.
Yeah,
and I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
And you're right. It's gonna be worse with a rookie quarterback, especially if he ain't come from a pro style offense. And yeah, he'll struggle because what you asked to do at a college level, and then trying to bring that over, and then you put more responsibilities on him at an NFL level, is totally different. And like bro was saying, with zone coverage, a lot of times you throwing that ball before wide receivers open. You don't really see a lot of that in college, but in NFL, if y'all go and watch film, get all 22 and watch what some of these quarterbacks are doing, you'll see that they threw that ball before that wide receiver was even in the vicinity. So you asking for a lot, because that's not something that is easy to do, especially when you're used to throwing to guys that are open. Now you're asking me to throw if a defender is sitting there in his coverage, in his zone, and you saying throw the ball at him, my guy's supposed to be there. That take a lot, because I mean that's a lot of reps. That's why I was telling you, like, when they was in preseason, I was like, just having Justin act as if he's like this all-time pro, I didn't feel like that was beneficial to him. He should have been playing at least until halftime, getting the reps, because that set him back a bit. That set him back a lot.
Okay. So I think all of us agreed that he played a good game Sunday, or it might have been possibly his best game. So, hey, let's look at some of the things that I know personally. I might have said something, and I'm not sure what, but one of the things I thought that bothered me earlier in the season was the actual throwing motion. It used to seem so mechanical and extremely slow. It was at times looked like he was throwing darts. Not darts like a nice pass, but darts the game, where he will be like, real slow. Did you think that's
yeah, but I will say his throwing motion has always been a little just different.
A little feedback.
But I don't do. I'll be honest with you, Bernard. These days, that's a battle that I've learned not to just get into. If we look at mechanics nowadays, it's really they're not what they used to be. Even, for example, just me coaching, the way I was coached on any level I played at is just a lot different from now. Some things that we can go to. They just had the All-American, All-Star, practices taking place here for high school. You look at those 5-6 quarterbacks that's out there, you'll look at them like, they would have never been allowed to, have those mechanics just 6, 7, 8 years ago. So things has changed. Patrick Mahomes has definitely changed the game. As far as release goes, Lamar Jackson, those are generational players who are doing some things. And they are, they're the Steph Currys for quarterbacks right now. And a lot of those mechanical things that old quarterback coaches that, they drill down, they're not doing them now. I remember doing drills and, quarterback coaches having their coaching points, saying, hey, you have to do this, you have to do this. Nowadays, those kids are just, I don't know. It's I don't get into it. I don't not get into it.
Yeah. And I guess it's the weird part because I've seen guys in recent years come to the NFL, and I've looked at some of them like, have you ever played quarterback in your life? Right? It's some of the stuff looks so bad, right? That you're not surprised that some of these guys that you like, man, they pulled that guy after 4 or 5 games and he's not getting back in. That it just looks so bad. Hey, Cristen, what's the improvements that you've seen this year? I mean, I know you definitely
I'm with bro. I don't get into the emotion thing either, because half the time if you got into that 1,000 rep mark, it's pretty much embedded in you how it come out. I'm more interested in your lower half, your feet. How do you push off when you throw? That's stuff that I don't think that you can ever change. But as far as how a quarterback's throw motion is and how a circle is, I'm with bro. Like, I don't really like get into that, because I mean, it might be ugly, but if you effectively can repeat it over and over and over again, why I'm going to change it? I do feel like his footwork has gotten better. I wish they would bring him back to his regular stance, that he had, because this one I don't like it. I feel like he hops too much and he drifts too much. I just personally don't like it. I felt like last year when he had his feet right over left, he was a little bit more quicker and he was a little bit more disciplined. This year, I feel like he'd be skipping and he'd be hopping, he'd be in between 2 different types of drops, and it don't be looking clean to me. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I've noticed that the skipping and hopping, and sometimes it seems like at times that he's not sure how far he wants to drop back, and it seems like he drops back real deep. Then it seemed like especially early, it seemed like he would be thinking about it, right? Then he'll be like, "Oh, I need to be 5 steps or something," right? And then it was just kind of like almost like going through an instructional dance in his head. But what you got, Hamp?
You mentioned this. It reminded me of the video I put up on social media. It was the first third down of the game on. Was it this past week? No, it was the game last week. It was the first third down in the game. It was 3rd and 2. Justin Fields dropped back. He had a go route outside and a quick out from his number 2 receiver, slot receiver.
Yeah.
Number 2 receiver was our tight end, Cole Kmet, a guy that he trusts and he's comfortable throwing the ball to. And without a doubt, he got the snap and he took 3 steps. And on his post, I was explaining, I coach quarterbacks and I have a high school quarterback at Morgan Park, Marcus Stackson. He'll be a senior this year. And there's been times like in practice and games, I'm on a headset and I see the wrong drop. Immediately, I'm talking to our head coach, who's Cristen Jones. He was, by the time I can get it out, he's already cussing Marcus out about his feet being wrong. Why is it that we're giving Justin Fields his pass? That things like that. That's not your play calling. Play calling isn't wrong if we have a 3rd and 2. We have a quick out. The timing is off if I take shotgun and then 3 additional steps to throw the ball. That the timing is just all off. So things like that is I question, and that's not play calling. That's me knowing I should catch the ball, set my feet, and throw the ball quick, immediate. That's quick game. That shouldn't be a conversation we're having with the professional quarterback. And
Unapologetic Truth, thank you for tuning in. He's on YouTube. he says his footwork still need work, and he needs to learn to navigate the pocket better. Man, Ham, I'm glad you did say that because I mean, all this really is not. This is constructive conversation, right? And we're acknowledging the good things, and we acknowledge some things that we've seen, right? We're not pretending like we don't see certain things, right? Just because we like a guy,
Yeah.
right? And
I noticed it.
But I have brought up the fact that one of the reasons I thought he could never throw a quick slant is because he was dropping back too many steps.
Yeah.
And it's hard for him to throw a quick slant if you're dropping 5 steps back, then you're on the wrong foot. Then he tries to skip forward. That play gone. You're not going.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that. You already missed it. You know.
His footwork all season, it ain't look right, to be honest with you, because I just don't. I've never seen good quarterback play from somebody who like Aaron Rodgers. When he gets to his third or his fifth step, there's normally he'll climb into the pocket and he'll release it. There's never Justin be getting on his toes and he'll come off his toes and then he'll throw. But like I said, last year I feel like his footwork was a little bit better. I don't know what caused who, if it was his idea, their idea, but he needed to fix that. He should have went to something that was a little bit more comfortable that gets him into rhythm, because that it just don't look clean to me at all.
Okay, what you have, Ham?
Yeah, I mean, I just echo those things. Clean up that footwork. That's coming out of college. Just a few years back, that was my thing, and I question, a lot of quarterbacks making that transition from college to the NFL, especially those that have those elite guys around them. Justin Fields, you look at highlights. I mean, he's throwing the ball to wide open guys, and I'm not taking anything away, but there's no open guys in the NFL, and that footwork is plays a huge part in that. Knowing that you have route combinations that align with your feet, and that's quick game, that's your drop back game, that's your play action footwork, that's your sprint out footwork. Those are aligned with route combinations for a reason. You have your hitches, your slants, your quick outs. Those are catch the ball out of shotgun and throw the ball immediately. You have your deeper routes, your intermediate routes, your post, your dig, your things that get, we're talking 10 and 15 yards down the field. Now you can take a drop because it is aligned with the timing of the depth of the route, and it allows you to view that defense. By the time I get to the top of that drop, meaning my last step of that drop, I should be able to put my foot in the ground that Cristen was talking about and throw that ball off that back foot. And that's not taking.
Okay. Yeah, man. Thank you, man.
Can I say something real quick before we move on with that?
Oh, yeah.
When bro was talking, I'm gonna say this, and I don't care who get mad. A lot of these QBs from high school to college to the pros, they go out here and they get into these private quarterback sessions with some of these guys, and they be practicing. I'm pretty sure bro know what I'm talking about. And they get with these quarterback gurus and they learn this stuff that is not relatable to the game. Now, I'm not saying, I'm pretty sure Justin has one, but I'm pretty sure when he learns this stuff in the off season, they probably is not aligned to what the Bears program is, and now you gotta reteach him what you want to do. It is not saying the other guy is bad, but I'm pretty sure bro know what I'm talking about, because now you got to get him on what you do, and a lot of these concepts, like he was saying, are lined up to your footwork. If you run snag, if it's a three and a hitch, it's a 3 and a hitch, not a 5 and a hitch. If that's how you run it, who knows? But it can be based off of the depth. You run snag at 10, 12 yards, and you got it at a 5-step drop with 2 hitches, and that's not what he's been practicing. it's a problem. So I noticed that this was like my second year that I had to, not saying the quarterback coach he goes to is a problem, but it wasn't lining up to what I was trying to do, and it was causing issues.
Man, great information, man. You know, I'm like I said, I never played the position, but I have watched a lot of quarterback film, right? On fundamentals and stuff like that. I mean, you know, I'm just a geek like that, right? I love stuff like that. So I can relate to what y'all was saying. And I thought I saw this earlier when people were saying nobody is open early in the season. And I was saying a few times, he's dropping back like he's in a sprint. And I'm like, he's getting back in his drop so doggone fast sometimes. At the beginning of the year, that's what I thought too. I was like, he's dropping back so fast, he's actually getting there before these guys have even ran a route, which now was making. Then I thought he was not like sending people in motion. He was not helping with the protection. And I was kind of figuring out, like, man, like how I was like, yeah, he gets sacked because you actually relying on Lucas Packers, who was been a reserve to now call protection, who the year before
I don't like that.
Whitehead was actually helping him with the protection. Well, I guess the year before it was Mustafa, because Patrick was coming off the bench because he was hurt most of last year. Any comments on any of the stuff like that early in the year where, like I said, my observation, I thought he was coming out of, he was just dropping back like he was in a sprint.
Too fast.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I'll echo those. That timing, it just has to be, you know, together. You have to have that right timing. Just like we've seen the film where he's catching the ball and he should have been catching the ball and throwing it quick. I'm sure it happens vice versa when he catch the ball and think he can get rid of it quick, and receivers just are not ready, like you said. Protection wise, I really don't get into it because we don't have the game plan. We don't know, the different type. There's so many different types of protections. But to me, what's obvious is, and that's just not Justin Fields. Protection is hard. A quarterback coming, that's one of the major transitions. A lot of college guys, they're not involved with protection. Either a coach is calling the protection and it stays that way, or you have your offensive line communicating that protection. But in NFL, guys who are Tom Brady, those guys are elite when it comes to setting protections, putting people in position to pick up. Defensive guys get paid too. Those guys, defensive coaches, they know how to scheme things up. The elite guys know how to set protections. I don't know, and I'm not confident that Justin Fields has received autonomy to set protections or, check protections or change protections. What I can fault is I know he should know the protections. Even if he's not in control of setting them, he should know them. And it's obvious, it happens all the time. Justin Fields catch the ball and get sacked like right away. And, sometimes it'll be from his backside, or he'll get immediate pressure in his face. And people quick to say, the offensive line. No, that's not offensive line. One second, buddy. That's not offensive line all the time. Yeah. In fact, there are situations where offensive line are trained, no matter what's going on, I cannot block this guy because my rules tell me that I have these 4 guys right here and one of the linebackers. If I have the 4 down linemen and 1 Mike linebacker, that means if a nickel come and a wheel linebacker come, my coach will tell me, quarterback, you're responsible for those. And what that means is if those guys come, I have to throw the ball hot right away. I'm not seeing that from Justin Fields. And he'll get those sacks. Everyone will yell, the offensive line not blocking, the offensive line not blocking. No, the quarterback has to know what to do with the football when those guys come. That's not on the offensive line. And it's been times where, offensive line just didn't touch anyone. And we don't know. That may not be their responsibility. So it's hard when we don't know those protection. If it's a man blocking, or they're sliding the protection a certain way. That's the biggest hurdle when transitioning from college to the NFL, and that I know Justin Fields just don't have a good grasp for right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, thank y'all so much, man. It's great information. Hey, those who just tuned in, you just tuned in to the 2-minute drill, which is part of a segment of Bears Banter, where we talk about quarterback performance, and specifically right now we're talking about Justin Fields. And man, these two guys we had did the football 1-on-1, so we definitely coming back with some of that, where we're gonna get education on different passing concepts, right? And what our stick routes and stuff like that, to get us up to speed on some of that. And so when you start watching the game, you kind of really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, for real. You'll know. I mean, everybody gets, like I said before, everybody might have a different way to get to it, but it's still the same thing. The rules are the rules. I just got a different way how to get to it. It's 100 ways, literally, how to run concepts. The rules would be the same. I just changed up the formation. I just changed up the personnel. But the rules are not gonna change.
Okay. So what do y'all expect coming into this game Sunday as far as Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears? My guess is Green Bay is going to show him a lot of zone. I mean, if your defensive coordinator is playing, and that's what I would think. If he's got a QBR this season of 26.4 in zone, I think I would come trying to play zone 80 to 70% of the time. I mean, what y'all think?
Yeah, but if I'm coming into that as a coordinator, I'm gonna try to get him more in movement, move the pocket, and I'm definitely gonna run the ball to get them out of that. Because if I can run the ball, there's no way you gonna stay in zone. That's just me thinking as an OC. So I'm gonna get him in some movement, but my movement won't be anything with play action. It'll be more of him as a he's got the threat to run, he's got the threat to pass. And when you've seen that they do those types of concepts, it really puts defenses in a lot of trouble. And I feel like that gets him in rhythm too. But I wouldn't dare, and I would do this on first down. I wouldn't dare put him in situations in second down throwing the ball. I'm throwing the ball on first down, and then I'm running the ball and keep running the ball. I'll make sure that I get him more in movement against the Packers than keep him in the pocket. Unless he come out hot like he did last game. That would just be me.
What about you, Hap?
Yeah, this game, Packers. I haven't seen a lot of the Packers this year outside of early on in the season. But traditionally, this Packers team, they bring a lot of pressure, and they play a lot of man to man. I don't know, but one thing Cristen said that I haven't seen, I will say, is we have to run the football. And man, I love the formations. I love routes, and I've played quarterback my entire life. But I always love running the football. It just makes everything a lot easier. And we have not committed to that run game. We run a lot of, RPO, run pass option. And any quarterback, if we have the opportunity to throw the ball, we're going to choose to throw the football.
Yeah.
And run pass.
For real.
People I've
For
seen
real.
first Luke Gessie, to death. And I will fault him on, the screens, but those are options oftentimes. Justin Fields has the option to run their football or throw the ball out there. So when we see that screen thrown out there, it's something that's taking place during the week, and they're coaching Justin Fields up and saying, hey, if this happened, throw the screen. I would want to see more just committing to the run without the RPOs. Justin Fields is an athletic talented guy, and we shy away from using his legs. But if we, just commit to running the ball and, just have that threat of, him keeping the football, just put him in position. A lot of people get into the Lamar Jackson comparisons.
Nah,
Yeah,
not
Lamar,
even close.
Yeah, Lamar is just different. He's
not even close. Yeah.
We don't have
I say that every time they have a game, I say this, I text Jay and Plank now, and I was like, we need to run the ball with our running backs. I just said every game I send them text that run the ball with your running backs, and other part I agree with you too. I'm like, I want to see some traditional runs. Just bang the ball in there sometimes. Stop running all, RPOs has its place, but sometimes it's, for me as a running back, I know I'm old school. I'm like, man, it slows the play up of the running back because you got to slow up and see if he's going to give it to you or pull it out. And then I'm like, you need 1 yard. Just let him just bang it in there. Get some momentum going. And I don't like how in the first half that they only run on second downs from my observation. I'm saying not on first down, I'm sorry. They only run on first other than the first play of the game. They run on first, throw on second and third, right? And it don't matter sometimes in the first half if they get 8 yards or 6 yards on first, they still automatically just going to throw on second, right? Especially when they're on a scripted play because they've already scripted and he doesn't adjust to. You just ran 8 yards. It's literally second and 2, and now you about to throw a pass. Just let that back go and get those 2 yards. Then you can go back.
I know that's crazy. I heard somebody, I was listening to the radio, and one of the guests that they had on there said that they love Luke Getsy's run game, and he's very unique. I was like, I don't know what he see because I don't see that. The only team that I say that is San Francisco. They a zone team, but they do. You'll see them do duo. You'll see them do gap down, gaps scheme. You see them do zone. They run wham, and they got like about good 5 different ways how they run wham. Like that, like when people talk about Brock Purdy, I respect them, but how they run the ball there, bro, got it. He's got it made, like for real, because the way they can run the ball is just amazing. So I agree. We need to run that ball and just be creative with it.
Yeah. Hey, Ham, did you have anything else? We're gonna close out. I know you can't just getting back in yourself, so
yeah, I'm closing now. I mean, I'm still I'm pulling for Justin Fields. Whatever happens, I will say 4 weeks ago, the game going into the game we lost. I can't remember who we were playing. I was like, we got 4 weeks. I said this is Justin Fields' interview right here. He got 4 weeks to prove to the organization that he's the guy. Right now, I'm leaning that Justin Fields will be back. It's really going to have to, how he shows up Sunday is going to be huge. This is a rivalry game in Green Bay. This will determine Justin Fields' future in this game. It's sad and it's tough that it's going to be put on one game, but I think Justin Fields writes his own future this game coming up. He writes his future this game coming up. The way he performs,
it really does.
Yeah, it is going to determine where he's at next year.
Yeah. Hey man, let's come back and talk about this after the game. Okay. Sometime next week if both y'all got time. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how soon for they'll let us know. I'm sure they're gonna let it float out as long as they can. You'll probably hear some coaching stuff right away. But for the players, there's no reason to strike the cards until to the draft, to be honest.
Yeah, he ain't gonna let nobody know nothing to the draft, because if he say something now, you're gonna get lowballed. So he gonna have to hold it out until it's time to like say what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But in the meantime, after that first happened, let's talk about that. Then let's come back after that and talk about some of the quarterbacks coming out, right? And try to get some clips. Yeah. And y'all evaluate them. And I mean, I think that'll be great, man. We kind of and not evaluating them like this is gonna be the Bears' next quarterback. I mean, we won't know, but like what you think about them. And I know y'all got that eye, and you can say, hey, I see this in this guy, and etc. Or nope, that's that. Don't touch them. Yeah. We got our own experts, man. I mean, Emil Kuiper don't know what they talking about.
You know what? No, I looked at someone sent me the Mitch Trubisky and Patrick Mahomes at quarterback class. I was like, I said to my friend who they sent it to me, I'm like, man, these guys getting paid a lot of money to screw this up, man. That top 5 was all over the place. So
it was.
I'm not doing that at all.
Me either. I don't either. They get excited when they see these guys out in gym shorts. Well, no live bullets, and they just climb up the charts like Zach Wilson did, and then you find out that bro, he can't play. So yeah, I that Mitch Trubisky draft for me will always be comical, because I went into that and I said, if it was me, I kid you not, I wish I could find the post that I made. I was like, I'll draft Deshaun Watson. He beat Alabama. Absolutely. Everybody was calling me crazy. They talking about, oh, he got a weak arm. He had knee surgeries. I'm like, but he beat Alabama twice. What you talking about? Like, do you not see how many first round defensive draft players they have every year? Are you kidding me? It's like, nah, you can't take him. You can't take him. I'm like, y'all tripping. That's my guy. So
yeah, then I heard people also. I remember I was saying that people were talking about his injury, right? I remember people talking about I think he had a leg injury. Yeah, he had a leg injury.
He had 2 knee surgeries. Yeah,
2 knee surgeries. Correct. So people were bringing that up and like, no, and I remember a guy one day, as a guy at work for a while, he would just come by my desk, and this was before the draft, but it was getting close, and he was just like, he was from Ohio, and he used to be like, Chicago Bears draft Mitch Trubisky. I was like, man, stop saying that, man. I used to be like, stop saying that. Man, when he came over, man, I literally like, man, don't come over here today, man. When they drafted, like, don't even come over here, bro.
The NFL is backwards, though. Like, they'll rather have a young guy and give him all the time in the world, but these older guys like Penix Jr. and Bo Nix, they only gonna have 1 year to prove that they can play, because they're gonna be coming into it at 24. So if they have like a sucky year, they rookie year, it's gonna be raps for them, because ain't nobody gonna want to invest in them. Look at dude from Liberty. What was his name? Malik something, who got drafted by Tennessee. He was a first round draft pick, and they went out and got Will Levis because they found out Buddy couldn't play. So it's gonna be the same way for Penix Jr. And that's sad, because the NFL is really hard. It's not an easy league to play in. You playing like the best athletes in the world. So yeah, but that draft, man, that's gonna always be funny to me. I can't believe Ryan Pace did that. I can't believe he did that.
All right. Hey, let's wrap up. Hey, thank y'all for coming on, and thank everybody who tuned in to the 2-minute drill of Bears Banner. See you tomorrow for the pregame show. Peace.